Hey, YouTube. What's going on? What's going on, people? I just came on to. I was gonna. This has been on my heart. So, with the recent events that's going on with the African American men being shot down, I did a video that says African American men are an endangered species, and I made the correlation against the comparison against uh, how other people are treated and how black men are treated, and that still stands to this day more than ever. However, I don't want to get on this subject because it's being trended so much today, and sometimes a lot of things get in your psyche, and it's hard to get out of your mind. It's hard to get out of your heart because if you like me, you're a action person. You like to do stuff to make things better. And when stuff like this happens, it kind of make you feel like you powerless, like you can't do anything. So I just don't want to focus on that right now. I am gonna come back to that, but prayers to the family, also to Stefan or Steven, whichever way you pronounce it, Jackson, the old NBA player. That was his half brother. So prayers go out to his family, their family as well, and to him. It's a lot of things that we're already going through in this time and season, and that's just something that, man. And so y'all know that I'm in Kentucky where the Breonna Taylor murder took place. That happened back in March, y'all, and it's just started getting smoke across the United States and stuff in May. Think about that, okay? So I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to say a little bit about generational curses, okay? A generational curse involves negative patterns from your family history that it's like a repeat cycle, okay? And it shows up in every generation. And it doesn't just show up once, it kind of shows up in a strong similarity throughout different cousins, aunties, things like that. Um, all curses, period, you can overcome, okay? Now, one generational curse in our family is sexual content. Let me just say it like that. From being molested, incest, raped, things like that. That is a pattern that has been passed down from generation to generation. Okay? Every generation, somebody is picked to break the cycle. Okay? I so happen to be the one that was picked, not by my doing at all, but by the Lord's doing to break the cycle, okay? That's why I found out that my people was mad at me because I actually spoke up. This had been going on for years and years and years and years and years in each generation. And I didn't know, and I spoke up. Even if I did know, I still would have spoke up. It didn't do me any good for real, but I'm here today to tell you all about it. So, all things work out for the good, okay? But I wanted to give a story. This is a true story. One of my aunts, one day we were talking, and it's two particular aunties that they said I should have been their daughters because I act just like both of them, but I look just like one. So me and her was talking because she's, there you have some person in your family that is the historian of the family. What I mean by that is they know where all the skeletons lie, they know where all the bones is hidden, things like that. And that's the particular family member that nobody ever wants you to talk to because they don't mind sharing what, the family secrets are. And so she actually is the one who started enlightening me on our Indian side as far as the curses, the blessings, and things like that, and why that, what happened. So I'm going to take you through a story of her life, okay? I'm not going to tell you everything. This is just one particular situation. Me and her was talking, and we got on the subject of, and just to give you a backstory, her son is the one that I actually have a biological child with. Her son is the one who started molesting me, incesting and everything when I was going on 9 years old. I was 8 going on 9. Okay. So just to give you a backstory, I've already did a video on that as well. So, um, this auntie, and we're gonna call her Cat. So, and Cat was sitting and she was talking to me, and I could talk to her about anything. And somehow we got on the subject of her mom and dad. And I was asking her questions about, because she knew what her son did and everything. And she used to tell me to watch myself around him because, like I said, when he seen me, he would tell her he was going to marry me. And she kept trying to tell him, that's your cousin. You can't marry her. And he was like, I don't want to hear that. I'm going to marry her. I'm in love with her. So, you know how that goes. So, anyway, she said that she said, my mom, which is my grandmother, she said, my mom always put her head in the sand when it comes to stuff like that where the males are concerned. And I said, really? I said, so your mother, I said, well, I can tell how she acted with me when I told her when I was little what was going on and everything. I said, but I didn't know she did that with somebody else. And my auntie started crying, and she said she did it with me. She said my mother hated me. She said her I did everything right. I left Kentucky. I moved to this big city. I ain't gonna say what city she's in. She said I moved to this big city. I married well. I'm wealthy. I always take care of my mother. When the other siblings wouldn't do nothing, I would send money home to her and all this stuff. And she still treated me like I was a second class citizen. She said, but don't nobody know my struggle. Don't nobody know, that I cry at night sometimes. And at this time, my auntie was in her 40s, because I was in my 20s, early 20s. She was in almost her late 40s. And she said, don't nobody know that I cry all the time and stuff at night. She said things remind me of what used to happen with me. And I said, what happened? She said, my daddy, which is my granddaddy, she said he used to pimp me out to two men that lived in our neighborhood down the street from me. And I said, are you kidding? I said, no. She said, yes. She said, for him to get drunk, she said, and very little money went to the family, to my siblings, them. She said, since I was the oldest child, period, and the oldest girl, she said, I took one for the family. And I'm sitting here, y'all, and I'm like, what? And she said, yes. And I mean, she was, y'all, I felt so, oh. She said, I said, well, what? I said, did you tell Granny? I said, did you tell your mama? She said, did I tell her? She said, what you mean did I tell her? She said, mama was there. Mama was the one who got me dressed to do it. I said, shut up. I said, no. See, y'all, demons run deep, okay? Curses run deep. And I said, what? She said, mama would pick out my dress. She would help me do my hair. She put a little makeup on me. She said, and daddy would tell her what dress to put me in because Mr. Johnny, and I'm just using that name, Mr. somebody, would like for me to come down there and show a little thigh before, I let him fill me up and go inside my underwear and stuff. And yeah, I thought I was watching a movie. I swear. So that movie that Tyler Perry has that says, what is it? I Can Do Better All by Myself or something like that, where the two sisters was there, and the one sister, the mother, knew that she was being molested because the father, her husband, had asked for her so they can keep living good. That took my mind to that movie, y'all, I promise you, and stuff. And she said, so twice a week, one day she would go to Mr. Whoever, and the other day, they would send her down there to the other Mr. or whatever. And them men was molested and stuff. My auntie having sex with my auntie and molested her. And she said her early teens. She was like 12 or 13 years old when that started and everything. So as my auntie grew up, she became promiscuous, and she didn't care what you thought about her. If she liked peen, and she was gonna get the peen she liked. But I mean, what do you think that's gonna happen when you pimped your own child out? I mean, so, for what it was worth, she had a heck of a life, and she wanted her kids to have better. So she married her third husband for money. It wasn't no love involved. It was money. And he was really, really, I ain't gonna tell you what he did because I've talked about him once before, but he was really, really wealthy. Okay. And she relocated to the city that he was from. And when they first got married, okay, know this, she left everything that she knew to have a better life for her and her boys. Okay? And like she had a good job. I mean a very good job to be a single woman. She had a very good job. But when this man would come back in town and stuff, he would shower her with gifts, give her money, all this and stuff, tell her I'm gonna take you away from all this and stuff. And so she went. But when she got down there where he isolated her from her family and began to dictate her life, he treated her like she was a hooker. So she was back in the same situation, y'all, where she had to perform sexual acts for her husband to even take care of the boys. Like she would have to give him oral sex whenever he wanted it. She would have to keep the house pristine. He didn't care about her having kids. It had to be pristine. Like if a fork was the opposite way, he would deduct her money, and she would have to do other things to earn that money back. It was just crazy. So for the first 5 years of the marriage, she said she was his hooker. Whatever he needed and wanted as far as sex was concerned, she had to do it in order to make sure. She said she was so ashamed that the fact that she had left everything on a dream because she wanted better. So she had left everything on a dream. And she said, when she got there and it turned out to be something different, she was too ashamed to call back and say, I need to come back home because of how her mother always treated her. And I'm starting to think it was some type of jealousy there. And I did tell her that at first, but it was some type of jealousy there because your husband, which was her dad, preferred her to save the family than you. You know what I'm saying? And it was just crazy. My granddaddy, he had demons. He had demons, I guess, from when his parents came over here, when they brought him over here, because I didn't understand how two Indians got together from two different tribes, but my grandmother ended up going to Texas where my grandfather, they had brought them over from and all this and stuff. And so a Geechee got with a Cherokee. Okay, Opelousas Cherokee, some Cherokee. And I got the paperwork, but I'm just trying to get the story out. They got together. Well, each Indian tribe, those of you who are actually Indians, not just claiming to be, you understand what I'm saying. That each tribe has their own beliefs. And the Creole tribe really believe in having sex with their own people because they tried to keep the blood as pure as they could. They didn't want outsiders mixing with the tribal blood. So that was normal for an uncle to have a sex with the niece, or cousins to mate together and stuff like that. That's normal. So but anyway, my granddaddy died of cirrhosis of the liver. He was a drunk, and from my understanding, he died in the alley drunk. My grandmother actually became something big and all this and stuff, and I'll talk about her some other time. But I just wanted to focus on generational curses because when you look down your family timeline and you see different family members and you say, well, Uncle Bobo used to be a drunk, and then you see, I put like his great Uncle Bobo used to be a drunk, and now Uncle Tutu is a drunk, and now my brother is a drunk. That's a generational curse, okay? Or even finances, when this person two generations ago died broke, and then you see the pattern one generation and they had money, but then they died broke, and then you see it trying to come. Those are generational curses, and we actually have power over those. We can renounce any generational curse, any curses, period. They have been spoken on us, that passed down through the bloodline. God has given us that power to do that. You just have to go back and read in the Word. But you have to renounce it from all generations. You renounce it from future generations, and you close the door on it, and you repent for it. Even if it wasn't you that did it, because it still flows in your bloodline, you can do that. And so The only time this is going to show up again is if somebody walk away from the beliefs of Christ, where he gave redemption, or they open back up the curse again. So say me, it stopped with me because God showed me what to do, and I learned through great pastors on about generational curses before I actually went to school, divinity school, and started learning some stuff myself. Okay, yeah, I'm not just cute, I am smart as well. Anywho, so um say that I hadn't did that, I would say, okay, it stopped with me. Now, if my kids decide that they're going to sleep with a cousin and they knowingly sleep with a cousin, that curse kicks back in, but it kicks back in worse than what it was. Okay? So sometimes you can be delivered of something and go back and get it. Or somebody can open it up, and when you see it, you have to shut it down again. And I know some of this is gonna go over people's head, and I get it. I understand, whatever. But I never deny who I believe in. You understand? Because all my beginning and ending start with Christ. That's just me. So, but I did want to come on and talk about it because generational curses are real. They really are real. I can tell y'all some stories that'll make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. But, I'ma wait. I'll wait. But to see my auntie cry like that, I mean, she just boo-hooed because she kept reliving those demons, those dreams and visions and stuff that she was having when she, of what happened to her when she was in her early 12s and 13-year-old and stuff like this. And she said it went on until she was about 17 years old. Can you imagine? The persons or the people that was supposed to protect you is actually the one pushing harm on you. You know, I couldn't fathom that. My daddy was my hero, man. Any man I date has to line up like my daddy, and I'm sorry. I apologize. My husband even knew that. But my daddy gave my husband the charge. My daddy told me. He said, "I like him. He's sincere. He loves you, and he'll protect you." That's our man. When my daddy gave him the seal of approval, and my daddy told him, "You better protect her like I would," and my husband said, "I'll protect her with my life." Just like that. And I mean, so I can't be with no wuss. I don't know how some of y'all women get these men that won't stand up for your honor. They want you to be the man and the woman. I don't get it. I need a man. You know what I'm saying? I need a man, not a male. It's a difference. A man. I don't need you trying to beat me being me. If I'm the woman, allow me to be that. Okay? So, and I need a man that's understanding. I don't need you to always try to tell me what I think. Let me tell you how I'm feeling. And then you come in and try to solve my issue if I need you to solve it. So I'm just saying, her husband he just added on, God rest his soul because he's dead now. But for the first 5 years, he was a monster, and we didn't like him. He was nasty to her family. Anytime you call her, he'd be like, "What you calling for, money?" And I had to cuss him out one day. This is when I was cussing. I was like, "Listen here, MF, I don't need nothing from you. I'm on my own, been on my own since I was 16 years old. Yes. Got emancipated at 17. So come again, and if the Lord say the same, I'll be 50 this year. Proud to say it, because of one, I don't look it. Two, if you survive any of what I went through, you better hold your head up and tell everybody how old you are. Thank you. That's why I don't understand. That's why I don't understand some people on YouTube. I don't understand. And I don't even try no more, And then these big things with everybody with these channels. You trying to do this, and you want to do this, and you trying to clout chase. In order for, let me tell you, if I was gonna clout chase off anybody, hello, is this on? Knock, knock, knock. Is this okay? Okay. If I was gonna clout chase, hear me and hear me good, off anybody, it dang sure wouldn't be nobody in the beef sector. If anything, would be B Love's life. Her name would be mentioned in every one of my videos. One, because I like what her and her husband stand for. Two, because she's where I want to be if I focused on that. Like I told y'all, I just like the fact that I can come on here and say something that may help somebody else go through whatever they're going through. I give you pause for a cause because some people didn't even know that this stuff was happening to their kids until they read my book or until they heard me do different interviews on radio stations worldwide. Yeah, I'm not a one trick pony, I keep telling y'all. But that's neither here nor there. And then they start asking their kids, did such and such and the kids start opening up. And how do I know? Because people start calling into different radio stations I was on and was saying, we heard her on such and such, or I heard her, I asked my child, and oh my goodness, keep telling your story. Keep telling your story. Don't stop, because it's helping people, and I will receive emails and all this and stuff, and I don't take that stuff lightly, because I'm not anybody. I don't prize myself to be the grand poobah of all. That's not me. Can't nobody beat me being me, and that's why I always say I have no competition. I don't. When you securing who you are, who's your competition? Now, and that's why I support my girl Bama. And I know people, they say things about her, whatever, and I don't get it. I don't understand it because we tear down each other, but that's a whole nother story. But I support my girl Belma because guess what? She's who she is. Now, like her or not, she's who she is. And today's my girl's anniversary, her Mr. Belma 21 years. Y'all better go ahead with yourself. So, happy anniversary to you guys. Um, I'm not jealous of any female that I see. I don't care if your body is a 36, 24, 36. It makes no never man to me. I ain't jealous of you. I love me and all my plus sizeness. Thank you. Smooches to everybody, and sometimes that can even be a generational curse, y'all. When you see each generation, they don't feel better about themselves unless they're putting down other people. That's a generational curse. And we have to learn how to stop that stuff in its track. If not, it's going to take root. It's going to keep on growing. Each generation will come out being the same way. But my auntie did make me promise her this. She said, whoever you marry, and if he moves you away from your family, make sure you have a backup plan. And you best believe, hear me good, let me not. If for some reason, me and my husband move away from here, and we moved to somewhere with just his people, I ain't never trapped. Get that straight. See, when you become married, you don't become stupid. You become smarter. Okay? And every married woman understand what I'm saying. You become smarter. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, I'm not going to stay on here. I just wanted to come and just touch a little bit on generational curse. And everything, and it is a real situation. It's a real thing. My auntie, God bless her heart, I don't really think she's ever recovered from it because she is almost 70, if she's not 70, and she still have episodes of thinking back on what they did to her. That wasn't the only thing that happened to her. She did give me permission to tell her story. So that's why I'm telling you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said anything. Even though I changed the name to protect the guilty, I wouldn't have, if she didn't give me permission, I wouldn't have said anything. But like she said, I gave her the strength to tell her story. And I thought, wow, me? She said, you, because you tell your story and you're empowered behind it. So you gave me the power to stand up and say, this is what happened to me. So I take that, to heart. I'm like, I feel honored, So I would be doing a couple more things, like I said, y'all, with this thing that's going around the Rona. A whole lot of stuff has not been open like it should. So a whole lot of things that I want to do has been postponed. I'm going to keep coming to y'all raw like I do and on my phone until I can do different. I'm not in no hurry because life goes on, and I got other things that I'm doing. But just bear with me. Those of you that support Coco 929, I know you are. You all give me great feedback, and I appreciate you. I don't take it lightly that you sub to me. I don't at all. I appreciate every click and a view that I get. I don't even know what this stuff, can I be honest with y'all? I don't even know what this stuff means. Nobody has ever that's been on YouTube for a minute, nobody's ever set me down and said, okay, this is what this means. This is what this means because I want you to prosper. This is what this means. This is what this means. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. I think, like I said, that's why I always shout Bama Girl out. And I know some of y'all get mad. I don't care. I'm too old to care, for real. But I thank her because she made people aware that I was a content creator. And I didn't have any, like, amount of followers that she has, but she wasn't afraid to say, I want y'all to support my girl. Put her stuff in there. And I was like, oh, thank you, like that. And so if some of you all came to me by the way of Bama Girl, I appreciate you guys. I really do. I always support my girl. I always support her. She has different content on there. She has different topics. They be off the charts sometimes. I'm like, y'all crazy, so also, let me say this. I want to thank TC, and this is TC hbcu Queen. There you go. I want to thank her because that's my girl. Me and her talks, and it be really in depth, and iron sharpens iron. You understand what I'm saying? And I can't tell too much of my business. Let's just say I thank TC for her conversation. Those of you who have got my books, I appreciate you guys. It just means a lot to me. It's another person that comes on YouTube that is my YouTube husband. I have to call him out. Thanks, boo. Look. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So I thought I'd give him a shout out too. So let me see. What can I say? That's it. Because I don't want to add too much to this, but y'all, you never know what a person went through. When you see my auntie wore the finest of clothes. Her house is laid. Every other year she gets like a new car. Honey. She had a salon built in her basement. And a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, just money over money over money. When her husband died, he had two bank accounts. The one bank account that they freely gave her was the one that had $80,000 in it. That was the chump change bank account. You see what I'm saying? Then there was a whole another one she had to wait a certain amount of time before they can even put her on that one and every. I mean, it's crazy. So you wouldn't, when you look at her, you wouldn't think that this woman has been through anything, or goes through anything. You would think she was a criminal. Matter of fact, my auntie was the first one that gave me my first name brand purse. It was my goodness, what was that purse? I forgot. It was a Fendi. I think it was a Fendi. The one with the duck. What is the one with the duck? That's what it was. It was the Dooney and Burke. That's what it was. She was the first one that gave me my first official real purse. It showed me how to tell if it's real. My purse had a registered serial number on the inside of it. It was my first Dooney and Burke, my first ever expensive purse. And I was like, wow, I thought I was something, y'all. Woo! Couldn't tell me nothing with my Dooney and Burke shoes. Going to McDonald's working with the Dooney and Burke. Get into it. However, but y'all, I am here and I'm available to just encourage your hearts and your spirits. I hope that it's something that I say that I always encourage you or make you think. And I always say even make you smile and cry. Sometimes we need to cry. We just need to wash it. We need to cry. So, all right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been your girl, Coco929. Smooches.